Abbie Dagnese from brightsidemedium.com, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I mean, you just told me, but it's like, all right. So, hi, Erik. I love you.
Hi, Mama.
So, you decided you wanted to round up Abbie to talk about bullying. So, go ahead and give us a setup, Erik. Why do you want to talk about this?
Well, not only has it been going on, Erik says, from the beginning of time, but also a lot of our current YouTube watchers today, right now, are going through some form of bullying.
Yeah.
He's bringing up, I'm like thanking him for all the great information he's flooding at me.
Uh-oh, slow down, Erik.
But he's going fast, like super fast. He's pacing back and forth in my room today. Pacing. He's actually wearing a pair of jeans, which it's like 90 degrees in New Hampshire today. So I'm like, kind of, why are you wearing jeans there? But whatever. And he's got a hacky sack actually that he's kind of like throwing up in the air, walking back and forth, throwing a hacky sack around like in his hands. Haven't seen one of those since the 90s, but anyways.
No.
So he just says it's super important because it gets you down, it brings down your vibration, which then when it brings down your vibration, it almost like enhances it more. He says that it really it makes the bullying worse, not just because you're feeling like crap, but also he says because it's like a magnet for just more bad shit to happen. He says we got to stop that, we got to knock it off right now. So anyway, he wants to bring up about like bullying, not just in relationships, because he does want to talk about that, but also bullying all the way up through grade school and into our work life. We were just talking about how we both work in the medical industry and you deal with a lot of type A personalities, and it's just like never okay, whether it's a doctor to patient. So it doesn't really matter. It's just whether it's in your younger years or older years, Erik says it's there.
Yeah, well, personally for me, I have found out that as Erik and I do more good for people, the dark side is getting more inflamed and aggressive against us. Like the YouTubes from that Deadwing Dork. Deadwing Dork, if you're out there, I want to help you. Okay. I want to do some energy work on you because I feel like you've been co-opted by some really bad shit. And then these things are nudging you to hurt people. And when the light grows brighter, the dark reacts violently, and they're making you do this, Deadwing Dork.
He's being mean to Kim too. That's not nice.
Yeah, oh, it was awful. She quit. She quit everything because it was so hurtful. So I'm trying to get it back, but it's terrible.
So Erik's talking about, he's like kind of pissed because he really, first off, he's defensive for you. He's defensive for humanity in general. He says he's like going on and on right now about, he's saying, oh man, I never understood that shit. I never bullying infuriates him. Like if there's something that infuriates him, it's bullying.
Yeah, he had teachers who bullied him when he was in middle school, for God's sake. So yeah, he's and a police bully, stuff. So yeah, he's had his fair share, and he never could understand it because he was always so kind, and he'd get pissed at people, but he would never insult them personally or anything. He would just express his feelings. I'm pissed at you, that kind of thing. So
he's showing me actually some circumstances with like the police hassling and the police bullying, and like he really wasn't doing anything other than just chilling. Did he ride a skateboard or anything like that?
Oh, yeah.
Because like he's showing me like in a parking lot, just like at a mall or something. It's not closed to the public to be able to go in this parking lot, but like he's riding his skateboard and like he's giving me that energy about like how that felt for him, being bullied. And he's saying right now that he can really completely, he can't completely get it because he wasn't a white guy in this lifetime, but he can understand just about how it must feel to be just like bullied nonstop from the police and how degrading that feels and what it really does for a young man.
Powerless.
With their ego.
Otherwise, I don't want to be,
and their self-esteem.
Resisting arrest kind of shit. So, okay, so go on. What about talk more about bullying, why it exists, and what we can do about it, and on all levels. I mean, we the cyberbullying, kindergarten through college and workplace bullying and all that.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
So Eric's saying that here's the thing about bullying, that sucks but kind of doesn't suck. He says it's an energetic exchange from this lifetime to the next, which is necessary for our human evolvement.
Yeah.
So it's it sucks. He says that sometimes it really fucking sucks. He says, but it's actually super necessary for all human growth and development. He says, either way, somebody learns something from it, whether it's in this lifetime or during their life review, which then in turn helps them evolve in the next lifetime. So it's like that concept, right? About how we're all just like connected
Yeah.
and we all help each other evolve. So he wants you to know that, well, first off, he's actually bringing up karma and just desserts and things like that. There kind of really is no such thing, he says,
Yeah.
necessarily about karma. And he says that is not a popular concept, and he gets it. And I don't like that idea because I know some people that deserve some big karma.
I know.
But actually, in all actuality, it's really about growth and understanding that we're one of the whole, we're part of the whole, and it's about being closer to our source energy, our creator, our God, our one God. Being a more profound understanding soul, he says, so we can help other souls. So it's really about, he says, getting back to our creator.
Well, I think that we have to understand that when we hurt someone else in the collective, we hurt the whole collective. So we hurt.
And he's showing me that the vibration
Yeah.
is like a wave. So it's like this, right? Elisa, my son, he's 11. When he comes home and he tells me that somebody's been bullying him, oh my goodness, that hurts my heart.
Mhm.
So then that energetic wave gets sent out and it affects everything around my life. And I know that you probably experienced that too, right?
Oh,
So
yeah. Eric got
Eric,
bullied so bad he came home crying from Starbucks one day. So I went over to Starbucks and I got those guys, the one person in particular, and oh my God, I fucked him over big time. I mean, bad, man. I was so freaking pissed. I told everybody,
Eric's saying to you, don't mess with Mama Bear.
I said, man, you picked on an innocent kid, okay? And so that must mean you hate yourself. And that must mean, well, maybe because you have a tiny dick. Is that why? Is that why? Guys, do you know if this guy has a tiny dick? Banned from Starbucks from that point forward. Anyway, boy, I was so fucking funny.
Dude, I get it. I mean, I'm a parent.
Nobody nobody without drawing back a bloody nub. Of course, I should have sent him. Now in my enlightened phase, I should send him love and light. But nah, it was fun.
He's saying that there's actually quite an okay. So as much as we talk about like love and light, right, and like not getting angry, he's actually bringing up that
Human, we have to.
Sometimes, okay, so he's showing me electricity, right? How electricity builds and builds and builds, and kind of like lightning, how it snaps, like that. So that's what's happening to us on an energetic level. Is that that's why we cry, that's why we laugh so hard sometimes. He says our body has these energetic impulses, right? That makes it so we have a release. And so that's why we snap, is because our body energetically can't handle the amount of pressure from the energy builds. And he's showing me like photons and electrons and neutrons and like on a cellular level, what's happening in our body. And he's showing me actually the nerve endings in your brain and how they pulsate like crazy when you're at the point, and how your blood pressure goes up. He says all of that ties into this giant energetic release, which is anger. But he says there's actually a lot of good in that for your body chemistry, because this is cool. He's saying like DNA remembers, right? So he's saying that going into the next lifetime, because it's not just little picture, it's big picture, he says, of this time and the next lifetime. You actually really learn from those energy responses, which then in turn helps you with your next lifetime.
Of course. All right, let me ask you this. Where bullying is concerned, you say it's necessary for humanity. What are the lessons for the bully, and what are the lessons for the bullied?
So he's saying it's really determined by the extreme circumstances of behavior. It has to do with behavior patterns and evolving with the behavior patterns and for our own enlightenment. So that release of energy, that everything he just described, right? It not only helps you in the next lifetime, he's explaining that it helps you in this one because it creates this forceful wave pattern of he says eventual forgiveness.
Okay, so that's a big lesson.
Yeah, is that
What is
the bigger lesson?
The bully is here to teach us how to forgive. That's the main thing.
I hate how Erik is making this sound so simple, like that is it.
Yeah.
But on pretty much every level, that is it at the end of the day. It's kind of like when you take your last breath, Erik's saying, you don't think about how many pairs of shoes you had, or what kind of car you drove when you were 25, or that fantastic promotion you got when you were 32. You think about how grateful you are for your family.
Yeah.
And moments of love.
Moments of
So
love.
it's all culminating into the greater purpose of your life purpose, really, which is flat out, he says, forgiveness, which is love. Forgiveness. He's showing me forgiveness, like in big white letters, pulsating, equals love, pulsating.
So what about the lesson for the, okay, go ahead. The lesson for the bullied is it forgiveness for both? But what about the bully? He learns.
Oh my gosh, this is so cool. So again, big pulsating letters here. He's saying understanding equals love. So being able to forgive being the bullied, right?
Right.
Is understanding, which equals love, which then in turn brings us closer to God, because that is our purpose. He's saying, mom, everybody asks you, everybody asks me. He says, why am I here? What is my purpose?
Yeah.
And he says, ultimately, everybody has really the same purpose, which is to just be here, live it, love it, and experience it. Yeah. That's what it's about. And accepting it. Yeah. He's saying you can only control what you can control. So when you're going through the moments of bullying, you can only control what you can control. And that is the biggest aspect to remember above all, is what can you control out of the circumstance? Because you can't, he's saying you can't forget, you can't control other people and how they behave. Yeah. And once again, it's about how you're controlling your reaction.
Yeah. Your feelings. You don't
your
want
feelings.
All your feelings. You have to be just wrecking.
He's like throwing a lot of concepts at me right now all at one time. And I'm going, I'm an earthly being.
Slow your roll.
I'm an earthly being. Please slow down. So he just really feels for the collective, in the sense where we're not meant to see the bigger picture yet while we're here about why any of this is happening. Yeah, and he says, nothing fucking pisses me off more, man. He says, I don't care if it's, a high school bullying, somebody getting shoved into the locker, whether it's a big brother bullying a little sister when he's supposed to be looking out for her. He says, do that in private, man.
Yeah, wife bullying, husband bullying wife, police department colleagues. I mean, it's just,
yeah.
All right, so wait,
Um,
I don't understand. What's the lesson that the bully is supposed to learn? I missed it. You probably said it, Erik, but I can't remember.
the lesson the bully is supposed to learn is, well, he's saying the bully doesn't bully just because he bullies and likes it. There's always a bigger issue there, right?
I want to talk about
There,
that. Yeah.
there's always something else.
Yeah.
So it's whether like he's showing me this meme actually that I did see on Facebook once about like a little boy yelling at another little boy, like scolding him and saying nasty stuff, and the mother was standing behind the little boy and her tongue is going through the back of the little boy's head out of the little boy's mouth. So like the point is that it's usually coming from somewhere, but we can't control that. Like we can't control where the bully is getting bullied from. Or he's saying, he's bringing up the aspect of chemical imbalances also.
Oh,
okay. There's quite a few chemical imbalances that can make people snap and act crazy and, be bullies. But what you can control, he says, is your own self-reflection of who you are and putting your foot down and knowing what you stand for yourself and who you identify as. Are you going to be somebody that is a pushover and easily just manipulated into thinking that you're unworthy of happiness, whether that's at work, whether that's suffering through a relationship?
That's on you. You're responsible for your reaction to the bully. You cannot be responsible for what the bully does, but you can be responsible for how you react to it. I remember one time somebody was bullying me in a restaurant or something horrible. And I said, I just went, oh dear, now you're just embarrassing yourself. And she stopped, man. I don't think that was the most evolved thing to say, but whatever. It was really awesome.
Okay.
So anyway, so how much of it comes from self-loathing?
A lot of it, because but like on both ends, not just from the bully, but from the one
who becomes a victim, who decides to be victimized. You don't have to be victimized, but those who decide to be victimized, self-loathing. All right, what about dead wing?
He's saying you just said a key word there, Mom, and he's going like this, proud of you. He's actually saying that you used to tell him, you used to give him the advice about the fact that like he is better than that, and he really, it's up to him to decide if somebody else is going to be in control of his emotions, right?
I said that, and I also taught my children that sometimes you have to be compassionate to these people because they're in pain, and sometimes the people who are hardest to love are the ones who need it the most. I don't know if we got that totally until afterwards, but okay.
There's just so many influences, right, about like why somebody bullies
and why they accept somebody to be victimized by the bully. It's very complicated.
There's so many incidences, and he says it's been forever in time. It will be forever in time in the future. It's nothing new. It's nothing that it's gonna change because you chose to come here. You actually pre-planned and predestined these circumstances a lot of times for you to run into. You have chosen to come into this arena, Erik says, and you have chosen, he says, ultimately, sorry guys, to put yourself through this so that way you can evolve.
Suckers. No, I know. So even war, all throughout, that's a form of bullying on a grander scale, correct?
I was actually asking Erik about this today on my way home from work. Like, how could Anne Frank choose to be going through that circumstance where she would, like, how could the most innocent lives and people choose that? And the biggest response I get, and Erik's saying to me right now, is that we have to remember the big picture. We actually chose this life. If you have to remember that you came here with a focus and with a destiny, and not to sound morbid or anything, but like you have moments in your life that you don't know at the moment when it's happening, but they could be your checkout point. So if it is too tough to not be here, he's saying, remember, we're just a soul in a human body for a little while. And you've had many lifetimes before, and you'll continue to have even more lifetimes. And really, it's about focusing your DNA so you don't have to relearn the hardest lessons. It's about understanding the matrix of your life, and the bigger picture of it all, evolving from what you know you can control, and knowing that you can't control other people, but you can control your own opinions, your own circumstances, your own thought processes. And he's showing me like that, creating a wave and a cycle of positivity. So it's really about creating a wave of focus of positive energy. So when you get stuck and trapped, and it's like so easy for me to say because I'm not in high school anymore, and thank God I was not in school during like the times of social media.
Oh God.
Nothing was recorded. I did, thank God.
Oh my God.
Ugh, I can't even imagine how hard that's got to be. Like,
Okay.
or even just as adults now, it's like you go on Facebook, right? And it's like, it feels like so many people I went to school with.
It's an example.
Are the perfect mom.
Let's talk about Dead Wing Dork. You guys check out his YouTube, and y'all can comment about this and maybe send him this YouTube. What is going on with Dead Wing Dork? Why is he a bully for so many people? Talking such shit about Kim Boyd and her looks and me and my looks and everything. It's just awful. Why? What is it about him? Is it the influence of negative entities or reptilians, or did he have a horrible childhood? Is he just full of self-loathing? Tell me about your mother, Dead Wing Dork. Go for it. What's going on with him?
Oh, it's actually pretty simple.
A YouTuber totally made Lee McWilliams, or not made her, but triggered her suicide because of all the trash talk. But go ahead. Sorry.
It's really simple. And I'm just going to hit the nail on the head with saying this. He doesn't believe in psychics. He doesn't believe in mediums. He doesn't believe in.
Oh, there's a lot of people
doesn't believe in tarot cards.
It doesn't make a difference. He doesn't have to bully them. And I got a meeting with my defamation lawyer. Ooh, he's gonna get it. But anyway, you got to put a stop to this. So good luck with that, Dorkwing. Dead Wing Dork. So why? I mean, that explains. You can not believe something, but that doesn't drive you to bully. Why does he bully people?
Okay, so bigger concept here. He probably got pretty fucked over, pretty ripped off, pretty upset, Erik says, about, Erik's pretty sure that happened at some point in his life over something. And he's got a big fuck you target, Erik says, on everybody's back but his own.
Okay.
It's actually that simple. He doesn't believe in anything to do with.
He wants to monetize bullying too through his YouTube channel. That's what I'm getting. That he makes money off of it. And he was the one that said,
Erik says, hell
yeah. Vile woman on the internet, one of his first videos attacking me, saying that I exploited Erik's death for money. And I was not making any money. I gave up a career as a physician. I've paid hundreds of thousands of dollars for what I do. So it's the complete opposite. Yet, so I think he's monetizing bullying, weaponizing it for money. So, oh well, let's reach it on. He gotta get his comeuppance. Ooh, I can't wait. So anyway, and if any other guys decide to bully, I got my lawyer on retainer. So you better watch out and make sure you don't defame.
I got bullies. I got a president. I got a vice president. I'm in celebrity magazines now.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I know how it feels.
Yeah. Oh God.
It doesn't feel good. And I'm going to tell you right now.
I know, but I don't care. I mean, I have developed tougher skin, but I'm not going to have him do this to people I love, like Kim. Boy, I am not going to have him talk trash about my son. No way. I'll get
Erik says like
from Starbucks all over again, but too bad.
Excuse me. Once again, it's about controlling what you can control.
Yeah.
Erik says you have to sometimes rein it in to really remember that.
Yeah. So how much, oh, are you finished with that thought?
Yep.
How much of bullies are of the bullying is under the influence of negative entities and things not aligned with the greatest good, like reptilians and other nasty beings? How much of it is from that? What percent, Erik? Can you put a number on it?
It's a pretty high number, actually. He says it's about 80%.
Oh,
It's pretty high. So we walk through life, and years ago I had a angelic healer help me with this. I was around not very good people in really negative circumstances, and energy attracts like energy.
yeah.
And
Oh, yeah,
we
yeah.
all have what's called hitchhikers, okay, that are entities that are attracted to our energy, and they piggyback on top of us, and they're little cannibals that feed off of us and make our auras swish cheese and
Everybody
just
gets tired. They
want to, yeah, like let's say you quit smoking and then, like, you know, you start smoking again for no reason. I mean, that's easy
that's
to do.
why.
Been there before, but I mean, maybe that's not even a good example, I'm sorry, but it's more like you walk through life and you could just be walking down like a train station, and maybe it's
You hit
like,
my train? No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
no, really though, maybe it's somebody that jumped in front of a train and they were in a really negative place in their life and they did not move into the fifth dimension. Okay. So these beings that we're discussing right now are not fifth dimensional beings. They're way before that. Okay.
Poor
And
guys.
so these entities, they attach onto you and they put ideas in your head and they put thoughts into your head. Like, and Erik's describing how they can really affect like your eating, your sleeping, your overall energy. He says those are the first signs that you have that you have a negative attachment or that you have a negative entity. Now,
Loathing thoughts, all that. Yeah.
Erik's reminding you that we're not just talking about one. Like,
Oh, yeah.
you can have, he's saying, go on, Abbie, tell her. I had 113.
I've
at
had
one
people that did a portal council on that I gave up at over 10,000 over
Yeah.
portals and negative entities. So, and that's they're very often on really bad mojo land that has had a lot of war, like especially Viking wars for some reason. That's really, if you live in
He's
Ireland,
saying,
Scandinavia, or the UK or Denmark and stuff, a lot of that property is really horrible and it's like like causes a lot of trouble.
he's saying that's why it's so important to remember that you can only control what you can control. So that way you don't invite these entities when you're in that self-loathing phase. He says when you're in the self-loathing phase, that's your ego talking, and that's when the darker entities, like, it's easier for them to come in. And he's saying that it's unavoidable. It's not something on this earthly realm that we can just walk around like in peace and sanctity.
But on a
It's
YouTube,
just being aware
I just
that it's you, not like that it's the entities, not you.
Yes, I just filmed this very short YouTube for the Atlanta Scalar thing that's going to come out. You know, this will come out first, but go check it because there's a prayer that you can say that will get rid of these assholes, plus shield you, and you have to have two different shields. The golden shield of protection was not enough. I found out the reptilians and insectoid type aliens, they could still penetrate that. So now, you know, I have that, but you also have to so you can cite that. I give you instructions on all of that, okay? But also you have to realize that you are divine. You go in your house in your underwear, I don't care, naked, and say, I am divine and I deserve to be so. I am God. Or if you don't want to say that, you can say whole and part of God and I deserve to be so. I reclaim my energy. I am my own sovereign power. So get the fuck out of here. You have met your
And Erik's saying, bingo, mama.
Yeah,
he's saying that's exactly it. It's the power of intention.
You're much more powerful.
The power of prayer is real. The power of prayer is very real.
Yeah.
The vibration it carries is holy. whether you want to think it is or not, it doesn't matter. It is what it is, he says.
Yeah. You can say, I am loved. That really pisses off. They do not like love.
Positive affirmations are one of, he says, the best ways to fight those entities.
Yeah.
Self-love is one of the best ways. They don't have a space for it.
Yeah.
He's telling me that there is no space in you for those entities
If you
to
feel
attach to
yourself with
you.
love,
If you're
individuality,
having
godliness,
self-love, practicing self-love, giving self-love, what they're attracted to is your vibrational intent of like, and you know what, I've been in those places before where it's like, and Erik says I have too, about where you're like, one bad thing happens and then it's just like you just get downer and downer and downer and you're so stuck. You're so freaking stuck, like so stuck. And there's no way help, nobody can help you, and it's like this, you know, you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. What the hell are you gonna do? And Erik says to get out of those situations, pray.
Yeah, I remember.
He says when you gotta bend down, look up.
Yeah, I remember one time I was bullied so bad by somebody after Erik's death, and I was so broken anyway. I still am a bit, but I just stayed in bed. I just wanted to kill myself. I wanted to die. And then I was trying to fight against that. And then the thought came to me, it's like, I don't want them to find my body, me wearing Walmart panties. Screw that. I'm getting up and I'm trying to fight. So I did. I got up and I went on with life. But boy, you know, it was I've been through some very difficult times in my life. Everybody can pull themselves out of it. So here's my plan with the divine team. He says there's 8 grand things that he wants us to cover in the scalar field. And I don't know what all of them are, but one of them is going to be he's going to give me an intent script and a frequency set to get rid of everything that is not aligned with the greatest good of humanity. And that's going to take a long time, but then poof, quickly double shield humanity and Gaia so that they don't return. Now he says it's doable, so I'm going to fucking do it. No, maybe it'll get rid of some bullies. Not get rid of them, but you know, get rid of their bullying. We don't have to go that far. Anyway.
Yeah. So he's actually bringing up, like, the whole time you were talking, he's like, see, mama, see, he's like, see, love is the highest frequency of all. One of the best ways, right? He says the best way, in fact, to spiritually protect yourself from these negative entities that can bring you down, or even if you're just between a rock and a hard place, like I was talking about and you were describing, he says is bravery. He says bravery is the foundation of excellence. He says you can, and he's showing me like, you know, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures. He's saying,
I love that. I love that. I do.
So bravery actually carries this ginormous wave of powerful, high vibration to you. And that is incredible. And, you know, just trying, he says, trying to be brave. And he says, I don't mean by just like not crying about it. He says, because he doesn't consider that bravery necessarily, but it depends on how you're not crying. Like, let's say you have a child and you're trying to like keep it together for your child. He says, that's bravery. Yeah. He says, so yeah, that's that instance there. But then he's talking about just the power of intent of trying. The act of trying is, he says, man, that's the bravest thing you can ever do. He says the act of being brave enough to hope. Yeah. That is brave. He says, we got to get the ball rolling. He's showing me, I don't know what this toy is, but like, you know, like the balls that like go straight across and they're hanging from string. Yeah. He's saying you got to bring that inertia. Yeah. You got to, like, they're all stopped. You got to hit one ball against another. What is that called? Is that Newton's law?
Yeah, one of them.
Yeah, one of them. We talked about it.
Get up and put your Walmart panties on, people.
So, he says, get your big blue granny panties and put them on.
I know. I still
tell them, Mama.
I love it. They come in big packs, so you know.
He's telling you that you look beautiful today, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Which is funny because I told you that too.
I know. I don't know. Maybe the age reversal's working. I don't know. But anyway, so I remember, Erik, that one of the two most profound things that you said so many profound things to me, is that we are here to remember how that we are love, and we are here to remember how to love. And so I guess remembering how to love is how you get to the point where you
He
realize.
says that's the #1 school of Erik education right there.
That's right. That's right. Anyway, anything else you want to say, Erik, before we close?
He says, thank you all, peace to you all for keeping an open mind and being so understanding. I'm here for you all.
Yeah.
And I believe you me. He says, I understand y'all more than you think I do.
Yeah.
There's that Texas accent.
There you go, y'all. All right. I love you, Erik. And you guys check out Abbie at brightsidemedium.com. And we are going to talk about popularity and why people want to be popular in the near future, I hope. Anything else you want to say, Abbie?
Erik says, thanks, Mama. Love you.
Bye. Love you.
Elisa.
Join
Thanks.
us for dinner. Love you, Abbie. Bye.
Love you. Bye.